What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to this episode of Customs with Vic. I'm Vic Almighty, and today we have a very special guest. Tyler, you want to introduce yourself to them?
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Tyler from Lace Up Customs on YouTube, and I handcraft shoes including Air Jordan 1s and Air Force 1s.
That's right, and for the last few months, I've been learning and studying his process from YouTube, trying to understand how he does his stuff, so I figured why not bring him out to Phoenix and learn firsthand from the man. As you guys already know, we're gonna be building a Jordan 1 Travis Scott low from scratch for the boss man, Steve. We're all super excited for this project. You ready, Tyler?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. The first thing we gotta do to get this process going is to cut out our parts for this Jordan 1 build. Right here we got our Travis Scott low patterns. You can't build any shoe without the proper patterns. So I wanna give a big shout out to Exotic Studios for coming through with these parts. These are beautiful acrylic parts that'll last forever. If you guys need any patterns, head over to exoticstudios.com for all patterns for all shoes and all sizes. What's next, Tyler?
So we got all of our leathers laid out right here. These are our 3-ounce leathers, black, white, and brown, as well as our off-white suede, that's gonna be a vanilla 2-ounce, and then our buttery lambskin, that is a 1-ounce.
That's my favorite right there, by the way. Let's go ahead and pop this open so we can trace out our leather. So check this out, dude. This is gonna be the mock-up for the Jordan 1 we're building. Where should we start?
We start on the front toe and work our way up to the eyelets, cutting all the black pieces out first.
I like it, let's do it.
So we got our heat erasable pins, and I'm gonna be tracing the white on the darker materials and then the blue color on the lighter materials.
Does it matter what side the pattern is facing?
Mm-hmm.
So for one shoe, you just did it this way?
Yeah, so that's the right shoe, then you flip it over, that's the left shoe. So the corners are always on the inside. So next we got our 3-ounce brown leather that we're gonna be using for the upper and back tabs. Do you have those?
Of course.
Perfect, we're gonna trace these out with the white marker as well.
What are these lines for again?
The swoosh.
Gotcha.
Blasting, swoosh, back tab.
It's just for like placement.
Mm-hmm. So that back end is gonna be placed over that. This is at the bottom of the hinge where the heel meets the bottom of the last. So now we're gonna be tracing out the white leather. We got the midsections as well as the toe and the tongue.
Nice. While he does that, we're gonna go back to the black leather. Completely forgot to do the swoosh and the binding for the tongue. We're gonna do that now. All right, guys, we got all our parts fully traced out. It looks a little messy right now, but don't worry, it's part of the process. What's next? Cutting, Tyler?
So we're gonna be cutting out all these materials, lining them up, and getting ready for the stitching process.
Nice. This part, we wanna make sure we take our time so we can get the best end result possible. So far, so good, you guys. We got all our external parts fully cut out. Now we're moving on to the insides. Right here, we got our patterns for the tongue foam, our collar foam, heel stiffener, and our toe puff. What materials are we using for this?
So we got all of our materials right here. We're gonna be using our tongue foam, our heel foam. We got our toe puff right here. We got our heel filler, as well as the heel stiffener.
So we're gonna trace these out the exact same way?
Yep, we're gonna trace these out and get to cutting again.
All our stuff is fully cut out. What's next, Tyler?
So we're gonna be skiving the leather areas that are gonna be overlapping itself. We have our tool right here, the skiving tool, and we're gonna be leveling out the leather so it goes down at a thinner area, but it'll make it nice and flat and flush so there's no indentation.
Interesting. I've seen this process done before. Is it typically hard?
Yeah, it's not gonna be too hard, just very time consuming and messy.
Okay, let's do it. Teach me how to do it.
Just like butter. You have to be very delicate with it. So as you can see, now I'll go back later and I'll cut that so we don't have those scraps on it, and it's nice and flush, so if you want to feel that.
Yeah, it's a lot thinner on the edges now.
Exactly.
So that makes sense. So when you go in and overlap something on there, it's not super bulky, right?
Exactly.
Cool. Maybe I mess this part up.
Plenty of times.
What's a part you could easily mess up?
Pushing too much pressure down and causing a hole. because it is a lot sharper than you think. There you go. Feels perfect.
Feels a lot better than the other one.
Uh-huh. You want to try it?
Give it a shot.
And you just want to go along the whole edge. See, there you go. That's a lot better.
You made it look so easy.
You'll learn. You'll get used to it.
Check this out, you guys. I just skived my first piece of leather. It was a little trickier than I thought, but it worked out perfectly. This is the before, this is the after. It makes a big difference. The edges are a lot thinner compared to the before, where it's super bulky. It'll make a big difference at the end once the shoe's all put together. Tyler's gonna keep on going while I rest my hand. Skiving is all complete. Now we're on to some laser engraving. We got these back pieces to the Jordan 1 lows. Pretty much what we're gonna do is laser engrave the Air Jordan Wings logo on one, and then on this one, a custom Rejuvenator Cactus Jack logo. It's gonna be sick. Let's head over there now. Sweet, it's perfect. We're back in the laser engraving room. These came out perfect, you guys. The Wings logo, spot on. Same thing with this Cactus Jack Rejuvenator logo. Now, we're on to all these pieces that are on our table. I think it's time to put it together. What's up, Tyler?
So we got all of our pieces right here. We're gonna be gluing and stitching them all together. We're starting with our back tab, the lower and the upper. We're gonna work our way to the midsection, as well up to the wings, then to the toe and the tongue, and start the lasting process.
On to the fun stuff.
So now that we have the Nike signs taped down to the midsection, what we're gonna be doing is taking this to the stitching machine and stitching it together. What do you say?
Come on, man, I've been waiting all day. Let's do this. Both swooshes are laid down on the quarter panels. Tyler did a great job with the stitching all around the swooshes. I went ahead and added this straight line stitching. It was honestly a lot harder than I thought. I need a lot more practice to get to Tyler's level. So what's next?
So what we're gonna be doing is the back tab, we're gonna be gluing and stitching everything together, whether we're using our contact cement or double-sided tape. We're gonna be stitching it all together, working our way to finish the upper, and then from there, we're gonna cut out the liner. Right shoe is going to be the Air Jordan, and then left shoe should be Rejuvenator.
I'm proud of these two lines. Those are the two cleanest lines I've ever done. We're making some progress. We got the swooshes, of course, this back piece, and the heel part fully stitched on. It's looking really good, Tyler. Now we're on to the liner. What's next?
So we got a really buttery 1 ounce liner right here. This is lambskin. We're gonna be stitching this onto the upper. What we gotta do is trace it out as well as trace out the toe liner. So we're gonna go back to the stitcher machine after that and stitch it up.
We got our sock liners applied to the uppers. Right now you can't really tell what's going on. We still have to flip it back, but before we do that, we still have more work to do. Right here we got our collar foam, some filler material, and our stiffener. I don't really know where these pieces go. This is where Ty's gonna go in and teach me.
So we're gonna be gluing all these together on the inside as well as the upper. We're gonna be using the contact cement for all the hard objects, and we're gonna be using the 77 multi-purpose for the spray glue. We're gonna be spraying down the upper. We're gonna be applying the foam onto that. We're gonna flip it over, glue everything together, and it'll be ready for the wings to be stitched on.
So is the filler material first?
Yeah, fill materials first, and then work our way up to the foam, close it off, and go on with the stitching. So we have both the uppers finished. As you can see, we rolled the liner onto the inside. Now what we got to do next is stitch and glue our wings and our eyelets onto the outside, and from there we're going to go on to the toe.
Here's where we're at, you guys. We're making some great progress. We got the backs and sides pretty much all done. I have a good feeling Steve's gonna love these, but we still have the entire front side to go. Tyler, what do we gotta do to get to that point?
So we have our Nike signs already cut out. We have to back them up because as you see, they're a little bit flimsy. So we're gonna be tracing out the previous pattern, gluing that on with our glue. We're gonna be sticking them together, cutting them out and stitching them onto the upper, and from there, we're on to the next step. So most people would cut this out. No, you have to, and you stick them together.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I hate that idea.
Why is it a bad idea?
Because I feel like it's easier if I put this here and then I cut around this.
I know what you're saying.
So it's just a little bit
Glue
cleaner.
it first and then cut.
Yeah.
It's a good pointer. It makes sense. Instead of trying to line it up perfectly.
Exactly. And also too, I could kind of like glue outside the lines if I have to.
Instead of cutting it and just making a mess on
Exactly,
the edges.
and it doesn't really matter because we're cutting that off anyways, and glue doesn't really stick on the outside, so we're big chillin'. So we glued down the Nike check. Now I was emphasizing on covering this back tab so you don't see the brown through there, but just enough where it won't hit the hole. Now that this is all glued down on each side, all that we gotta do is lay one stitch all the way across the outside and we're on to the next step.
Both suede swooshes on both sides are laid down. Little by little, I'm feeling more comfortable with the machine. What's next, man?
So next we gotta be punching out all the holes for the laces, cut off the excess material on the top to make it nice and flush. Okay, so we have to open this up right here and get underneath the liner and cut all the way to the end of that double stitch right there. And just peel back because we got it all glued down. And now we keep it just like that and we cut the excess off the upper.
Is that for the next piece to connect nicely?
Yes, that's for it to hug the piece nice and flush so we have a nice clean area.
So just punch through.
Yes, sir. Squeeze! Squeeze!
I might have to just stick with the hammer technique if I don't have enough strength for this shit.
This needs to be like an Instagram reel.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the hammer technique because this shit's useless to me.
Here we go.
Show off. Holes are good to go on the uppers. Now we got our toe boxes. What's next for this step?
So what we're gonna be doing is using the same tool, but we're gonna be adjusting it to the smaller hole because we have to have better proportions. The bigger hole is for the laces, the smaller hole is for the toe box, so that's what we're gonna do next. So we punched all the holes in the toe box. The next step is gonna be applying glue around the edge as well as underneath this piece. We're gonna be wrapping it around, sticking it together, and then running 2 threads along the line to finish the toe.
Tyler did a great job with these toe boxes. Now we're on to the tongues.
We're gonna be spray gluing the foam onto the bottom liner. We're also gonna be spray gluing the front onto the top of the foam. We're gonna stitch around it and cut it out.
Tongues are good to go. I love the black lampshade on the back. It's super soft. Now we're on to the binding. I've seen this step done a few times on Instagram. I just don't totally get how it works. What's the first step for this part?
So we're gonna be applying glue on the back side of the binding as well as the edge of the tongue. We're gonna be sticking it all the way around, running one thread all the way around it. It's gonna look like this. If you want a full in-depth video, check out my YouTube channel, Lace Up Customs. We're also gonna be applying a custom tag on the top.
Binding on the edge is good to go. This tongue is pretty much complete. The last part we gotta add is our woven Nike tags. These are from Foxtrot Uniform. They are literally perfect. We're gonna stitch them right on top of here and on the back. Nike tags are in place. The red on this really pops with the brown and the rest of the colorway. We're getting really close to putting the rest of the shoe all together. What's next?
So what we're gonna be doing next is gluing the upper edge of the liner as well as the toes that we already stitched. We're gonna be placing them together, stitching the tongue onto there. From there, we're gonna be stitching onto the upper and finishing it up.
Down to the final 4 pieces. This is looking super sick, Tyler. How do we connect it all?
So we got our toe and our upper. What we're gonna be doing is grabbing this and grabbing the toe. We're gonna be connecting it through the wing right there. So we're gonna be doing a double stitch on the one side. Then we're gonna be flipping it around, doing a double stitch on the other side. After that, we'll have our full on upper getting ready for the last. So it's 11:20 and Vic is laying on the ground right now. I don't know. Okay, so he's asleep right now, and we're creating the shoe. That's what we're doing.
Where am I?
Travis Scott, mocha, 2 shots of espresso through the swoosh right there. You know, on the inside, you know, just normal vanilla, but on the outside, that's where the 2 shots are. Extra caffeine in these bad boys. The tongue right there. Details everywhere. It's coming out pretty cool though.
I'm up. Here to take all the credit for this. Tyler, thanks for the help.
Yeah, I got you.
This looks sick though. While Tyler's finishing up the last of the stitching on the uppers, we're gonna move on to these soles. Off camera, I went ahead and removed the uppers from these donors, so these are good to go. A few weeks ago in the custom fragment 3s, I did this method where I aged the entire shoe using some water and some coffee. We're gonna do the exact same thing on these soles to give it that cream look, just like the Travis Scott highs. We're getting really close to finishing up this project, you guys. We're on day 4. This is some very time-consuming stuff, but honestly, this is probably one of the most exciting projects I've ever been a part of. We're really hoping we can complete this project today. We only got 2 more steps. Right now, what we're gonna do is take these out from the tank, check how they turned out, and then go rinse them in the sink.
So now it's off to the lasting process. We got our lasting boards and tape. What we're gonna be doing is getting the bottom of the lasting. We're gonna be taping it down, cutting out a shape, placing that onto our lasting board, tracing that out, cutting it out, and then applying it down to the bottom of the last to nail it down. Now that that's in, as you can see, we don't have to shave anything because it's literally flush all the way around.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Temporary laces are in place, now we're on to the lasting.
We nailed down the lasting board. Now we have the upper ready to go. We got to nail down the edges, nail it down, glue it down, and we're ready to the next step.
So if I'm seeing this right, you're doing the back, front, then the sides?
Yes.
How many nails do you think you do in total?
Oh, that I don't know.
30, 50.
Like we could go through this whole thing. We could only go through 2 more. Like it really just all depends on how I feel. So you want to have a straight shoe or else a crooked shoe is never good. What do you say?
It's looking good so far.
Yeah. Does the back look straight?
I think it looks straight to me.
So it's starting to look like a shoe. So you put this here, and then the combination of this and this nice leather, you'll always hold that shape of the toe. Now it's all sticky. Hey guys, we're now done with the lasting process. As you can see, the nails are on the bottom. We still have excess material. We have to skive that down, get it nice and flat for the Jordan sole. So we're gonna remove the rest of the nails.
Soles are good to go. They're fully prepped on the inside. We also got that nice cream tone all around. Me and Tyler also went ahead and laid down our markings. Now we're on to sticking the uppers onto the soles. What does that process look like?
So we're gonna be getting our shoe. We're gonna be gluing the bottom of the shoe as well as the top of the sole. We're gonna be heating it up and sticking it together. Now this is one of the most crucial parts. If we do mess this up, it will ruin the shoe. So we gotta do it perfect. So we applied the sole onto the upper. It looks really awesome so far. I love how they turned out, especially the inside, the outside, and the toe box. Now we gotta remove the last and remove the laces.
Hold up, before you do that, can I remove the ink from the entire shoe? That part is really satisfying.
Let's do it.
All right.
So now that the laces are finally out, this is my favorite part, removing the last out of the shoe. It came out awesome. Now all we gotta do is put it on the post. We gotta pop up once. From there, we remove the shoe and we got ourselves a full Air Jordan 1 Travis Scott low.
From here, I'm gonna wrap it up. The last step we gotta do is stitch the entire outsole. This is a step I learned back in November on the restoration of Nike SB Jasons. Sal actually taught me this part. I had to go back to that video, watch it a couple times, understand how I did it back then. After a couple tries, I got it down. Once this part is good to go, we're gonna lace it up with some Foxtrot uniform laces.
What's going on, Rejuvenation? We have teamed up with our good friends over at Kicks World to give you guys a chance at winning a pair of Travis 6 British khakis in your size. All you have to do to enter is click the link in the description below and follow 3 easy steps. You must be following Kicks World on Instagram, sign up for Reshoevn8ed's newsletter, and comment your shoe size in the actual widget to be considered an entry. The giveaway ends June 30th. Good luck. Now let's get back in today's video.
Finally, after 4 full days, we got a complete Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low build. This shoe came out so beautiful. The process was a lot of fun. Tyler, what do you think about these?
I think these came out really awesome. I love the colorway, especially incorporating the Travis Scott into it. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Lace Up Customs, as well as enroll in my online shoemaking course to make your own Jordan at laceupcustoms.com.
That's right. Tyler, I appreciate you coming out to Phoenix, man, teaching me how to do this stuff. You were an awesome teacher. I was a great student, right?
Uh-huh. Oh, you killed it. You did a great job.
Dude, this was a lot of fun. I'm definitely gonna take this knowledge, take it to my future projects, and just grow from here.
Can't wait to see what you do.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you guys, everybody, for tuning in. This was a fun project. Till next time. This is Vic Almighty.
Lace Up Customs.
Catch you guys next time.